What's up, everybody? It's GKB, aka the Governor, back with another drive to work discussion. What's up, everybody in the chat? How are you guys doing? So, like I said yesterday in yesterday's drive to work discussion, this whole week we're going to be doing like E3, talking about that. Today's talk is all about Xbox and Microsoft and what they're going to be bringing and all that. I told She-Wolf I would say this on this video after yesterday's video, and I apologize to everybody on Twitter. It was pretty short, and I think it was only like 11-12 minutes or something like that, and she was like, oh, that's way too short, you should have been longer and you should have answered questions and all that kind of stuff. She's right, but it was the first one back. I was like super excited and all that kind of stuff, so I kind of just ended it really fast and all that. What's up, Beta? What's up, Wendy? How you guys doing? Appreciate everybody, rocking out. What's up, Gus Bus? I want to give people a few minutes to hop in here, and then we'll start talking about like Xbox. What's up, Michael? So hopefully the quality and everything is good, and all that stuff. What's up, everybody in the chat? It's blowing up right now. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get into it. I think the first thing I want to start off with is Microsoft's stance on VR. So, like The Verge, Polygon, a whole bunch of other gaming sites came out and said, Microsoft's not showing VR this year. And for me, like, I've always been like against the whole VR thing and all that kind of stuff anyway. So it was like kind of meh. But at the same time, the tech guy in me was like, well, I still wanted to see it, cool tech is cool tech, right? But here's my thinking about it. So Microsoft says they're not showing VR, but we all know Bethesda and its parent company ZeniMax, like, they're all into the VR. I mean, they just had this big lawsuit with Oculus and all that kind of stuff. So what if, Xbox isn't showing it, but Bethesda's showing their VR, and who's to say that Phil Spencer won't go out on the stage and being like, hey, we're totally supporting this, it's going to be able to run on the Scorpio and all that kind of stuff. So technically, they're not showing it, but they still could be showing it, and I think it's a smart play if that actually turns out to be the truth. As far as that goes, I mean, you've seen Todd Howard come out on Microsoft's E3 about, Fallout and the mods and all that kind of stuff. So who's to say Phil's not going to go over there? What's up, Maiden? Fallout VR would be cool. I totally agree. And I think that's a thing. I think that's a possibility. But Phil Spencer can go out on Bethesda's E3. Like, they're doing it before. They have enough time to get over there and do whatever they needed to do, right? And he'd be like, and it's supported on the Scorpio. Maybe show some stuff and everything like that. So that's a definite possibility. I wouldn't count out VR and Scorpio this year. I just think they might be doing it a different way. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about that. Because I initially, last night when I was writing all this stuff up, and I was like throwing VR, mixed reality, and all that kind of stuff, because they're very into that. What's up, Fox? What's up, Wendy? So, all right, let's go ahead and get into what I'm sure everybody wants to talk about. And the big draw to Microsoft's press conference is the Scorpio. So it's got all the T-flops and all this kind of stuff. It's going to do 4K craziness and all that kind of stuff. But, I want you guys to join in this conversation too, because I hear a lot of, colors and price and, when is it going to release and all this other kind of stuff. So what are you guys thinking? I think, personally, as far as price goes, well, let's talk about color. Color, I really want it to be black. Maybe some green accents, or maybe the power button, like on the Xbox One S, turns green. Just to have that homage to like the original Xbox. And it seems like they're kind of pushing that with maybe the name. Like, I don't know what the name is. There's a bunch of stuff out there on what it could be and all this other kind of stuff. I'm just gonna wait and see. It's definitely gonna be Xbox One something. So we'll have to wait on that. But either way, it's gonna be Xbox One something. But if they do that whole like Xbox One X and it kind of spells like Xbox and all that kind of stuff, I think that would be interesting. So then a nice black console, like a matte black, I don't really like the shiny stuff, with the green light and everything would be kind of cool. So price. Here's my take on the price. I think definitely $399 is absolutely where they need to be. And they waited a year And even technically, they really didn't have to wait a year to release this console, because all the stuff they're using it is based off of parts you can technically get off the shelf. Yes, they're custom, and I totally understand that, but you know, it's all based off like the RX 480 and all that kind of stuff. And I agree with you, Wendy. It needs to be $399. It absolutely has to be. Anything higher, I think, is a missed opportunity and will be completely destroyed by the gaming media. Let's be honest. So $399 has to be, and the parts they're putting into this and the way they built it and everything like that is easily doable, and they could still make money on this console at $399. Now, you know, everybody talks about like premium price and all that kind of stuff, and it's a premium product. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be $700 for this freaking thing, right? It's just about what it is and what it can do is where the premium's coming from, the features and all that kind of stuff. That's all premium. So I think definitely $399. If it's any higher, I definitely will be bitching about it, because Microsoft, you gotta get your head in the game. It's do or die. Like, let's go. So I think we're gonna see $399. It's gonna be a mic drop thing, because that's a definite competitive price to other consoles on the market and all that kind of stuff, and everybody's gonna go ape shit crazy for it. Oh, so big shout out to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining into this kind of vlog live thing. And all that kind of stuff, but no spoilers in this one. I'm only gonna be talking about like stuff that's already been readily talked about and all that. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody's E3 this year. I want you all to be surprised and happy and a good time. What's up? Who's next? How you guys doing? I agree. Diddy, Sony calls PS4 Pro premium at $399 as well. Like, I agree, absolutely. Premium is all about like, it's subjective. What's premium to you, honestly? But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. So, the date. So, there's a lot of like hoopla about, you know, Shadow of War getting pushed back to October. And I think that's definitely part of it. Like, you've already showed off this game. You already got like marketing for it and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a little bit of Shadow of War maybe needed a little more time, a little bit more polish, and that's great for games, period, end of story. If you want to delay it to make it better, absolutely. But I also think it's part of getting it a little bit closer to Scorpio. I don't think Scorpio's releasing on the 10th, per se, but I think it's in the ballpark, it's in that window of where it could be. So sometime in October, I'm thinking, which is perfect. I much prefer August, but in the grand scheme of things, October is fine. It'll be a little bit after some of the big games, but still have enough time for the other big games coming out. So I think that's a happy medium for everybody. Already touched on VR. Let's go into Forza 7. I think Forza 7 is absolutely a thing. It's going to be there. It's going to be the graphical showpiece, and, you know, gameplay wise, I think they're going to add a lot of new features into Forza 7. Hopefully dynamic weather and lighting and all that kind of good stuff happens. So as you're driving, it changes, you know, to light to dark, and from like a sunny day to raining and all that kind of stuff. I think that adds like crazy dynamics into racing, because you start off your setups as like, if it's a dry day, it's all set up for that, and then, oh crap, it starts raining, so it screws up your whole setup at that point. So you have to go in and like change stuff and be competitive, and I think that's really cool. I'm really into sim racers, so I'm sorry if I'm geeking out about this kind of stuff, and Forza Motorsports is like my favorite sim type racer out there. So I think Forza 7 is going to be there. I think if what I said in the beginning about the VR and Bethesda, that could be another talking point for, you know, at the Bethesda, because I don't think Bethesda would come on Microsoft stage and say, hey, here's our VR. They would save that for Bethesda, right? So, but Phil could come out there and be like, hey, you guys already heard about Forza 7, and here's VR support with Bethesda's, you know, VR headset, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I have no idea. I'm just throwing this out there. I appreciate all 44 of you guys like rocking out with me right now. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Make sure you hit that like button. But I definitely can see that happening, right? And VR lends itself very, very well. It's probably the best showcase, like in racers, flight simulators, all that kind of stuff. So I definitely cool. Yes, Wendy, State of Decay 2. That is the game, one of the games I am really excited for, and we'll get into that. So the next game is some kind of Fable. Like, I think something's gonna get teased. I don't think it's gonna hit this year. It's probably gonna be like end of year next year, but it's gonna be within that year to 18-month window of where Phil wants to announce games and all that kind of stuff. And I think this is the perfect time to go ahead and show it out. And there's also that Fable Fortune game, like that card game or something, that's coming out, I think, next month, maybe a little bit further. So I just saw that today and I was like, well, makes sense. Why not show another Fable thing? And then on that hype of showing Fable, could help out this Fable Fortune card game and all that kind of stuff. So, some kind of Fable will probably be there. Battlefield DLC, we'll probably see some of that because that's really the only shooter right now that we know of that can go against like Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff. They're already talking about like the Czar, I think it is, the DLC, which is really cool. Let's check out some of this chat. You guys are going crazy up in there. I need Ori 2 in my life. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. Like, Balmer's a different story than Adelia. I can tell you that right now. So now let's go ahead into Crackdown 3. We've been hearing tons about Crackdown, but the last year it's been kind of like dormant. Nobody's really talking about it, and I think that's because they're just nose to the grindstone getting this game done. Because again, I think this is going to be a big showpiece of Scorpio power and power of the cloud with what they're doing in the multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. So all those destructible environments, I don't think it's going to be in the single player because with linear kind of like storylines and stuff like that, like blowing down buildings and stuff and then being able to go where you want to really kind of ruins the story, or you can bypass things in the story. So I don't think that's going to happen. They might have like little light stuff and all that kind of stuff, but I'm really interested in Crackdown 3. I think that would be a really fun, also a really cool streaming game, especially the multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I think the beta is going to be announced, maybe even day and date with that, and being like, hey, here's Crackdown 3. It's totally freaking awesome. Oh, and by the way, you can play it right now. And here's the beta, go download it and all that kind of stuff. That's totally not unheard of. We've seen that like multiple times. So, and that would be a lot of fun because everybody wants to play that freaking Crackdown 3 multiplayer. Because Sea of Thieves is a no-go. Don't be saying that, Fox. I'm excited about Sea of Thieves, and I want that thing to come out this year. So, let's go ahead and get into, so that's it for Crackdown 3. Let's get into State of Decay 2. I think that's another like a game I'm really excited about. I played a shit ton of the first one, all the DLC. I got like that big pack thing, and played all through them. That's a ton of fun. My only critique, and I've said this on podcasts and everything before, is the whole, it needed co-op. Like, it absolutely needed co-op. Even the bugs and all that stuff didn't bother me in that game. What I wanted to do was play with multiple people, like 4 people. And that's what they're doing this one. They're probably going to take advantage of the Scorpio power and all that kind of stuff. I can't wait to get in there and just destroy some zombies. It's going to be a good year for zombie games because, you know, Sony's going to have some zombie games too. I love zombie games. If you're watching our streams on Mixer right now, we're totally playing that Zombie U game that's on the Xbox and stuff now. Totally fun game. I'm actually enjoying the crap out of that. All right, so into Sea of Thieves that you guys have been talking about in the chat. Sea of Thieves is going to be showing off. They'll probably show some kind of mission. What they need to show, since this is kind of like an MMO, big multiplayer type kind of game, they need to show what that is and what kind of the end game is for Sea of Thieves. I can't really talk about what I've been playing in the closed beta stuff and all that kind of things. But they really need to show that kind of stuff off to people, because that's what really gets people into these games, is the end game content. Like, the whole leveling and all that kind of stuff is really cool, but usually in those types of games, it opens up at the end when you're doing all the raids. Your guys are all like high level, you have the gear and all that kind of stuff, you know, much like Destiny. That's where those games at. That's what they need to show. They need to show you fighting some big boss, something crazy going on, and you're all like, it's craziness. And my point of view is, I really want it to come out this year. If they need more time, I totally understand, push it back. But then you're getting into where Red Dead and the beginning of the year is just getting really jammed up right now. And Sea of Thieves needs that window of nothing else going on for it to do well. It's, you know, a new IP, it's a new thing, it's doing stuff that we really haven't seen before, and it really needs that time to shine with nothing else around. That's really gonna, I mean, smaller games, whatever, but I'm talking about like the big, you know, big stuff that people be like, should I get Sea of Thieves or should I get Red Dead? You know, you don't want that kind of conversation going on. You want the conversation of Sea of Thieves, nothing else really around, and then, you know, getting that. That's the kind of situation they need to be. So hopefully it comes out this year. If not, I totally understand, and we'll see it next year. Sooner the better. Less is not more, Microsoft. More is more. All right, so now let's get into Cuphead Below, and I think the indie reel. I get excited about indies because the developers and stuff can kind of just do what they want to, and it turns into really cool like experiences that you really don't get to see on AAA because they're very, you know, safe, even though safe's really not the right word, but, you know, they want to put games out that for the mass majority of people they want to do, and that's where indies can take, you know, big advantage and do things like crazy, because at the end of the day, we're just an indie developer, we're just having fun, right? So I think we're gonna see that as usual. I think Minecraft also is gonna be in there somewhere. I think you're probably gonna see more than one thing on Minecraft, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not gonna talk about it, but Minecraft's gonna be there in one way, shape, or form. You guys are going crazy in the chat right now. I love this app on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, but man, the chat just flies. I want to check out Cuphead too. Big shout out to Triple Cup. As soon as that game drops, bro, we will stream it together. Promise you, I will be there. All right, so here's a game that if it is shown off, and it is a thing, which I think at this point we kind of know it's a thing. Splinter Cell. You're gonna see GKB going, ah, ah, on the screen, because I'm gonna freaking lose my fucking mind when that game comes out. I'm super excited for Splinter Cell. I'm a huge Splinter Cell fan. Been playing since the first one, and if we get a Splinter Cell game, I'm just gonna freak the hell out. Nice, Wendy. I want Splinter Cell just for you. I think you guys just want Splinter Cell to come out and see me just lose my shit on a stream, because I will. I will scream like a girl. I'll be like, ah, freak out and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited for it. I think that's a big win for Microsoft. I think it's not a huge game, but I think it's got a nice, good fan following that, you know, will prop up the Scorpio and all that kind of stuff, and you can do some really cool things. So Splinter Cell, definitely. So I'm going back and forth, and I don't want to turn this into a marketing thing. It's like, oh, GKB going on to marketing again. But Sony's, you know, got a bunch of marketing deals, right? So here comes BioWare's game, and this is from the A-Team. And when you read about this game, it sounds just like Destiny, but in a different way, right? So I've thought about this, and I'm like, well, Microsoft probably couldn't have got Destiny 2. Let's be honest. I think Sony locked that up for a while. So the next best thing is let a really good developer develop a similar type of game to maybe break into that audience and gameplay and prop it up as some kind of Microsoft exclusive. It's going to be a multi-plat game. I'm not saying it's going to be like exclusive only to Microsoft's platform, but I think that's a good way to combat, you know, what Sony is doing as well. I love this time of year, man. E3 is so hype. Like, you guys are just hyping the chat right now. Yes, I believe Assassin's Creed Origins will be on the Xbox stage. As much as Sony's like eating up all these big games, they don't have enough money for everything. Like, even Microsoft doesn't have that. So a likelihood of Assassin's Creed being on Microsoft stage is absolutely, probably 99% going to happen. That would be a good showcase for them. I'm excited for that Assassin's Creed game. I think that's going to be a really awesome game. It's in that time frame that I really like. I like the whole Egypt and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited for that. And I threw Fallout 4 on there with the VR thing because I think Bethesda's going to do that. But like, with the announcement came out where they're not, you know, showing off the VR stuff on Xbox, I think it's still going to be showing off on Bethesda, like I said. So I think that's probably where it's going to be. But again, hey, it's going to be on this headset that's only going to be on this platform or PC, you know. So I think that's going to be there. That's really all I had as far as Microsoft's press conference, without spoiling anything or talking about stuff that, you know, nobody wants to get into. So what questions do you guys have about Microsoft's E3? Are you guys hyped for it? I know I am. I'm super excited. Oh, well, I'm waiting for you guys' questions. Tonight's Console Corner, so make sure you're there. We're going to have the Crap Gamer on there, and we're going through all the press conferences. We're going to talk about each one. No spoilers, guys, I promise. We're not going to go into any of that stuff. We're going to talk about topics related to those and all that kind of stuff, and get into what our expectations are, what we're hyped for, and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys show up. I want to see you guys in the chat, you know, wigging out and going crazy. Gunny's like, fuck that shit, give me them spoilers. I can't, bro. I mean, I know you want to and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody, man. That's true. Crap Gamer does have a video on a lot of that stuff too. What's up, Graphic God? How you doing, man? Slide me in those DM spoilers. All right, Gunny, I'll see what I can do, man. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, on top of that, so I think I've kind of, you know, touched on this a lot too. Our E3 presentations, we're doing EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, then we're going to go into Ubisoft, Sony. Nintendo we're not going to be able to do because that's on Tuesday, and I got to get back to work on that day. But we're going to talk about it on CC that following week, our post E3 Console Corner. You guys will be able to watch all the conferences with us and join in the conversation and see our reactions on all those conferences. So if you guys have time and you want to come in and stop by, we'd really appreciate it. So make sure you're there. You know, I can't see the... I'm avoiding Crap's channel all week, no spoilers. That's a good... You should, man. I see a lot of people talking on Twitter and being like, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to even be on here. I don't want to see anything. And it's already starting to happen, guys. Like, I've already seen stuff already about game leaks and all this other stuff. So stay off of social media if you don't want to see any of that stuff, man. It's getting kind of crazy. I have a question, a legit question. What's up, Gunny? What's your question, man? What is everyone's thoughts on Bethesda show being at midnight? Is it midnight for you? I don't remember it being midnight for us. I thought it was earlier. I want to say it was like 8 or 9 o'clock for us. It depends on your time zone. Like, what time is it going to be for you? Or maybe I'm thinking 8 o'clock California time, so it could be almost 12 for us, so I don't know. But it all depends on your time zone, man. I mean, it kind of sucks for everybody, but look at the UK guys, like, and everybody over in Europe and everything, man. They, like, some of these conferences are going on, like, in the middle of the night, you know? Oh, I'm in Florida too, bro. Cool. So then I guess it is 12 o'clock in our time. Yep. Hype for E3, man. Few more days, guys. Few more days. Starts on Saturday with EA, I think. And then goes into Sunday, Microsoft and all that kind of stuff. What else can we talk about for Microsoft? I don't want to ruin anything. Yeah, I can't talk about anything else because I don't want to ruin anything. The Division 2 isn't going to happen anytime soon. I can 100% promise yet. I don't think any of that's... What's the temp, Governor? It's like freaking 9 billion degrees. No, it's kind of rainy and overcast today. But I think it's still like pushing 90s. The humidity is the bad thing, man. Question, real talk. Do you think Xbox can or will bring a respectable show? And how do you think it'll stack up against Sony's? And that's from Wendy. I think Microsoft is going to have a very interesting show. It's not going to have, you know, Halo gears and all that kind of stuff propping it up this year. Which, to be honest, I kind of like that. You know, it shows you a real, like, the mental of the company and all that kind of stuff and where they're going at this kind of a year. Being stacked up against Sony, I'm not sure, man. Like, it depends on what stuff Microsoft is going to show that goes up against the big marketing deals that Sony's going to have. And Sony's going to have some of those, I think God of War, Spider-Man, all that kind of stuff. That's probably coming out this year. So it's going to be a tough one for Microsoft. But I honestly think both of them are going to have really good shows, but they're both doing stuff completely different. And that's going to be an interesting thing. I don't think for Microsoft to get back into the sales game with the consoles and all that kind of stuff, and I don't care about sales, guys. I really freaking don't. But from a business perspective, I think Scorpio is not the only answer for them. I think Scorpio is a stepping point to the right direction to get away from the power narrative. But it's always games, those great experiences and marketing deals and all this other kind of stuff. You know, they got an uphill battle, so we'll see. GKB, I think, remind Crap Gamer to not reveal spoilers on the console corner. I will, bro. That's going to be the conversation in the console corner chat before we get in, like the pregame and stuff. I'm going to be like, hey guys, you know, try and talk about stuff that's not spoilery. Crap's pretty good about that. Even in his latest videos, he's like, hey, spoilers, guys, spoilers, stop listening at this point. So I think you guys will be fine, I promise. I will cut their freaking mics off if they try and say anything. I don't want it ruined for you guys. What do you think about getting Ninja Gaiden? I mean, that's a rumor, man. If we do, I'm a big Ninja Gaiden fan. I don't know if that's a thing or not. It possibly could be. I'd be excited for a new Ninja Gaiden game for sure. GKB PS4 exclusive Hellblade is coming out August 30th for $30. Dude, that game looks pretty freaking sick, man. She-Wolf loves that game. Yeah, and it's coming out in August for $30. That's a really good freaking deal. So I'm excited for that game too. Yeah, pretty much will trump Microsoft news and the release this year. Yeah, I mean, God of War's a big game, man. Everybody's excited for a new one. It looks interesting. I think we can guarantee they'll bring something from... You think so? Chris says, I think we can guarantee they'll bring back something from the original Xbox lineup, whether it be Gaiden or something. Possibly, man. Like, possibly. Mad Max. You're the one that started that rumor, man. I'm excited for Days Gone. I met the lead actor in the game last year. Days Gone looks interesting, man. What I want to see about Days Gone is just, like, what is it about? Like, you know? It's kind of like they showed like a tech demo, and that wasn't a bad thing. I wanted to see more of it. Far Cry 5, it's gonna be hype. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I know you said no spoilers, but do you know anything about Perfect Dark? Nope. And that's all I'm gonna say. Days Gone. Yeah, I agree, Beta. Absolutely. Fox with the PR stuff in there, man. You were going off. Appreciate it, Fox. Make sure you guys like sub to Fox, man. She's like almost at 1,000 subscribers on her channel, and follow her on Mixer and all that kind of stuff. She is like super supportive of everybody. She's Console Corner fam, and we love her. Big shout out to Magic Mike, Noof, She-Wolf, all you guys. Make sure you check out Console Corner tonight. It's gonna be a blast. We're gonna talk about some cool, fun stuff. And, you know, we're going to keep it positive, guys, this week because it's E3. And it's going to be super fun, and we're going to keep it positive, and we're going to have a good time. No matter what happens at E3, it's going to be fantastic. It's our gamer Super Bowl, and it's going to be a fun times. But that's about it, guys. I really appreciate it. We've been going for almost 30 minutes. So, ha, She-Wolf, we did it. Tomorrow, guys, I'll be talking about Bethesda and what they're going to bring. Probably won't be 30 minutes on that because it's not going to be a whole lot without talking about spoilers. So, I'll see you guys. I appreciate it. Man, 67, 70 people watching. That's freaking awesome, man. I'm really happy you guys enjoy this kind of stuff. And make sure you guys, Console Corner, see ya. Have a great one. Have a great rest of your day.